Welcome to Waiting into Retirement. In today's episode, it's a little bit of everything. We're just catching everybody up on all the activity in our lives.
Welcome back to our little bit of everything. As you know, I'm Laura and
I am Mike, and we haven't done a sit-down episode for quite some time. It's been a lot of activity, a lot of things going on in our lives. Yep. So we're going to catch you up on all of that. So, where to start? So we have done a lot of episodes where we have been enjoying San Miguel life. Lots of parades, lots of jazz, music, so much to offer here. And maybe we'll touch on that in a little bit. But we also had some sad stuff that went on in our lives recently. Yes. So my father passed away back in Canada, somewhat unexpectedly and very quickly. So that was one of the things that was weighing on our minds when we first moved to San Miguel, was what happens if we had to go home for an illness, and it happened right away. So Things have a way of happening.
They do. Life gets in the way.
So that has been difficult, and I think because of that, I didn't even want to be in front of the camera. So here we are back in front of the camera. So that may be the reason that we had a lot of episodes of us just doing things around town, because didn't really want to talk about all the other stuff that was going on. But So that happened.
Yes, and it's hard when you're in another country and you do have a parent get sick, fall ill, and you still have your mom, and it's hard, to watch them struggling, and it's just hard. There's no other way to say it. It wasn't one of the things that we talked about as being a negative when coming. We knew we'd miss family, but I don't think that we expected something like that to hit us so soon and so hard.
So, moving on to the positive things.
Yes. Or should we stick to the negative things? Negative and positive.
So what else has been going on? So, we have moved.
Yes.
So here we are, we're in San Miguel de Allende. We had a condo that we really liked. We got a good deal on it as well. That was one of the reasons we really liked it.
Great owners.
Because it was good value for money. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the medical issues my dad was having, the floor just started lifting.
Yes.
So the tiles, they're all Talvera tiles, they started to tent in the middle of our main living room, like 8 inches higher in the center than. So we thought maybe there was some water damage under there, but it wasn't water damage. It was just poor workmanship. And apparently the condo community we're in, that is not an uncommon thing to happen.
Yes.
But we basically had to vacate our main living room. And it wasn't a large condo in the first place, so we lost a big portion of our living space.
Yep.
So the owners had decided that they would give us a free month's rent. We'd have to move out for a month. They'd bring someone in to retile the entire condo. So we thought through what that meant, and we couldn't stomach that with all the technology we have going, and we're both, working full time. That would have just been too much.
I agree. It's hard with the 2 big dogs and finding somewhere. And again, they were fantastic. They offered several options, and we were quite sad to leave. But we only left like 3 houses down the hill. So it wasn't like we went that far. We were fortunate enough to come across an excellent property manager. Maria is her name. Fantastic, made it so simple. Another great condo owners. So the move actually was a very positive one, even though it started out to be kind of, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And I was impressed with both owners. They both stepped up and kind of gave us a hand in one way or another. And now we're
Settled in?
yes, very much settled in. I really am enjoying this space as well.
So now we have a condo that has a balcony that we're sitting on right now, which is quite large and has a great view. And we also have a rooftop patio that is super huge with barbecue up there and everything. So
Great for the dogs.
So
Great for
we
the dogs.
we upgraded big time as we moved.
Yes, we did. We did. You know, the price point also
Went up.
upgraded. However, you know, I think it was a positive thing knowing that we're going to spend, you know, the next year here. So I think that was a good move. And we were still able to stay in Capia di Pietra. And on that development, friends of ours started a WhatsApp group. So we've actually been going out a lot more during the week, on the weekends, gotten to meet new people. We had a margarita night. The sense of community, as we've talked about in previous episodes with the culture, and the expats have adopted that. And we've got quite a mix of friends now too. And that has been very, very positive. Very, very, very positive.
Yeah. So I mean, as Laura said, we are in the same community, but at the same time we moved, this WhatsApp group popped up, and we've met a whole bunch of new people and done a lot of social things with people that are basically in the same condo community we're in.
Yes.
So it's interesting how our viewpoint has shifted, and we were talking about this off camera today. And that when we first moved here, we thought, you know, we wanted to be with the local culture, no English speaking, really force ourselves to learn Spanish.
Yes.
That was kind of one option or one
Ideal.
Yep. And, you know, but this was kind of the safe option. We're in a gated community. Safe not in terms of personal safety, just safe in terms of a soft landing spot.
Yes.
Now we've come to really like it here. We've met like-minded people, and of course they are all, for the most part, English, although we've met several couples that are Mexican.
Yep.
So yeah, we're building a community here, kind of like the expat, very much the expat community, which is working for us right now.
Well, and we're also hearing about different activities, not just the parades and, you know, the one-off musics, but we're hearing about things that are starting up or that are ongoing that are in areas of our interest, and that too is starting to build a life and a bigger, wider sense of community.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about vet visits. So why don't you explain what happened?
So Tilly, if you may remember, is our black big Bernedoodle. She's laying here quietly at my feet for a nice change. Earlier this week, she was like gagging, I guess, and drooling copious. Michael had taken her out for a walk. We didn't know what happened. She comes back inside, and, you know, it continued on for about 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this. I have PTSD from our little dog keeper going through something similar, and it did not end well. And I just was, let's take her to the vet. I'm not going to settle. I am kind of a workaholic, very focused on work, and work just kind of went out the window. It was like, there was something wrong with my dog, our dog. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Michael, help. And of course, tons of thoughts go through my mind. Our vet at home, I have implicit trust. I would trust my life, their lives, to our vet group at home. I can call them really any time, night or day, and I'm going to get excellent care. I've known them for 30 years. So when you're in Mexico, you worry about the language, where are they? And thank goodness Michael had done a bit of research when we had looked into doggy daycare, and they have recommended a vet. So we jumped in our Subaru and took her on down with Maple, because we didn't want Maple to be alone and creating a fuss. We went in, and they were amazing. You know, she spoke English at the front desk. She was able to take the information. They explained that the vet had an emergency going on right now, that, you know, emergencies come ahead of scheduled vet visits. So we waited maybe 15, 20 minutes. You took Maple for a walk, and then we were seen she was incredible. She asked the right questions. They took her temperature. They weighed her. They asked about the history. Everything my vet at home would have been done while giving her treats and assessing her swallowing and noticing the reflex. She said, I don't see anything there, but I can see the behaviors. So all in a nutshell, you know, she got a shot of cortisone. We got a pill for that evening, watch her, soft food diet, whole 9 yards, took her on home. Now, at home, a vet visit like that, emergency, walking in the door, you're talking anywhere $400 to $600 just walking in the door as an emergency.
Canadian funds.
Canadian, yes. You would layer that on medication, the visit itself. I think I wouldn't have been walking out of a Canadian emergency vet hospital under $1,000. I'd easily be looking at that, if not more. And we do have vet care in Canada. We've always had insurance, so I was kind of surprised.
So to be clear, we dropped our pet insurance in Canada because it doesn't cover anything in Mexico. So we've just been self-insuring on the dogs, and so the cost for all that came to $45 Canadian. So self-insurance was definitely the right way to go. I think
Yes.
even if there was surgery involved, it would be really, really cheap relative to what we're used to paying.
Yeah, no, I would agree, and the care has been excellent. The cost really shocked me because it was much more affordable than I expected. So we're definitely going to be going back, you know, and make that our regular vet. I did speak to somebody there who was with a golden who he was worried about his golden diabetes, and it wasn't doing so well. And he said, if this is your first visit, you really lucked out and really picked, in his estimation, the best vet in San Miguel. So I thought that was also reassuring and wonderful. And the care was just exceptional. It really was exceptional.
So each time you do something for the first time in Mexico, you always have that unsettled feeling that you might struggle with the language, as Laura said, or maybe the quality of what you're looking for. But we've never really been disappointed on any of those things. It's
Never.
just, it's not your normal routine. You have to create that new situation for yourself. So I think we might be over that with the dog vet kind of fears at this point.
I agree. And it was a hurdle because, you know, and I know that you were a bit disappointed, but my first thought is I want to go home. I know what I can get at home, and I trust, you know, our vet group. You know, Barb and Paul O'Neill are amazing, and I just want her to be looked after, you know, by people I trust. And then it was just amazing. It really, really was.
So let's transition a little bit. We do have some exciting news coming up. We are part of a YouTube meetup that's happening in February in Ajijic. So we were invited by the organizers, which if you follow us, you probably follow a lot of other people that are doing similar
Yes.
content. So we have Gringos R Us and Two Travelers in Mexico and Almost Retired in Mexico. Anyways, all of us are getting together in Ajijic early in February, Super Bowl weekend, by the way, so that had to be taken into account. To meet superfans, give them an opportunity to ask us questions, and also give us as YouTube creators a chance to collaborate as well. So stay tuned, we'll tell you a lot more about that and how you can participate and where we will be and the agenda, so that is to come as well.
That is. And I'm very excited because I've wanted to visit Ajijic and Lake Chapala area for quite some time. So I think my planets all aligned to make that also happen and be exciting to get away.
Might be tough to actually see the city once you see all the things that are on the agenda for us when we
That's
are
good
there.
though. That's
But-
good. It'll be fun to meet people, like you said, like-minded souls.
Yep. So we will tell you more about that as well as that comes up. I think the other thing to go back to the social piece again, there are some different groups that I have been joining, you've been associating with. So there is some volunteer work. You've gotten involved a little bit in a dog rescue situation here that actually isn't going all that well because there's a whole bunch of politics, so we won't get into all of that around the dog rescue here. I have been getting more involved in a volunteer position around a music director and an IT director for a new spiritual center that just opened up here 2 weeks ago. So that's kind of exciting, and it has been taking up some of our personal time as well to figure out. And again, as Laura said, it's all in the vein of meeting other people and expanding our horizons and seeing what else is out there. So feels like we're putting some roots down.
It does, it does. And I can quickly and honestly say that when we talk to other people, especially our age or older, families seem to always be concerned, oh my goodness, you're going to be here. Are you going to have a tribe? Are you going to have people you can turn to? Are you going to have something to do? Are you going to be okay? And it has been a consistent theme that we're busier than we ever have been. Like we go out on weeknights. Which sounds funny, but you know, if you knew us at home in Canada, it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock, it's dark, I'm ready for bed. You know, instead now we're going to
Cuban dance nights on Tuesday.
It's on Tuesday. Yeah, that was funny, on Tuesday nights, and we've been catching, you know, a beautiful opera singer at Mercado Sano. We're going to Euchre tonight. We have Margarita night. We've just been doing so many things that.
It's a very musical city, which I'm a musical person, so that's appealing to me. But any night of the week, you could go to any number of music spots and see, you know, rock, jazz, Cuban. It's amazing. If you wanted, you could really burn yourself out quickly here. Yes. Because there is so much to do. And we didn't mention that. We went to a place called the Sunset Theater.
Oh, yes.
Which is, it's a personal home of somebody, but they've built an amphitheater at their house, like big time amphitheater, not just a small thing, with different layers all the way down to the stage. And once a month they bring performers in, like really good performers.
To celebrate birthdays, because it's with birthdays in mind. There's birthday cake and birthday celebrations.
So it is not a commercial establishment.
No.
You bring your own food, you bring your own drinks, and you watch music for a couple hours. So we went to one of those 2-3 weeks back. There's another one coming up in another couple weeks. But just
incredible,
just amazing. It was like going to a high-end concert back home, except this guy puts it on in his backyard. So.
Yes. And there's dancing, people mingle. It's very informal. Well, I think because you start out with the celebration of birthdays, and they call up people whose birthday month it is, and it really is truly a gem. I don't know how else to describe it. And it's a little bit outside of the city proper, if you would. That's what my brother George used to call like the downtown area of a city. And you're able to see, you know, the mountains, and it's just a little bit different than what we have here. In the city, you're kind of getting outside your comfort zone even there.
I was going to say, for those, so this is a tip for those that might be concerned about their safety, or they might be timid, because we are somewhat like that.
Yep.
A lot of these things outside the city will get an address, and I'll Google map it because I'm a planner, and I'm like, wow, this looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, and it is. And you drive there, and you honestly think you're going to turn a corner, and there's going to, you know, people are going to pull you into a gutter and beat you up or something. Like, that's not going to happen, but that is just the way that it feels when you leave the main city core. So this Sunset Theater was like that. You're driving and it's dark and you're like, this can't be right, this can't be right. And then you find a little parking lot and you think, well, there's a lot of cars here, this could be it. And then you walk into an oasis.
Incredible.
So it's like that in all of the things outside of the main city here in San Miguel feel that way. Like
the vineyard.
The vineyard, the eating school that we went to, cooking school, not eating. I guess we cooked to eat, but
yes.
That was the same feel. It's like you drove forever and you were sure that you were doing something wrong and you should turn around. And then you arrive and it's beautiful there. So.
But it made us happy that we have an all-wheel drive Subaru when going with the road clearance.
The roads the roads can be challenging, some of the rural roads, but we're more comfortable with that now. So,
Yes.
you know, to go outside of town and drive down a dark road at night, it doesn't really phase you anymore. But that's
No.
just the personal growth of living outside of your boundaries a little bit more and being a little more
Yeah.
comfortable with where we are. So, just a little side story there. So I think that's it for this episode.
I think so too.
We will certainly see you in the next episode. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Right along the bottom should be something there for you to click on. And we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode of Wading into Retirement. Until then, hasta luego.
Adios.